In his short time at General Hospital, Dr. Dorman's work appeared in 3 prestigious medical journals. That's pretty impressive for someone his age, isn't it?
Yes.
And yet, I'm looking at this article in Clinical Neurology. Could you tell us who the principal author is?
Anthony Jones, MD, FACS.
See, now that's curious because these were all Dr. Dorman's cases, and Dr. Dorman wrote the text for this article, didn't he?
It's just a convention. Dr. Jones is named first because he's head of the department.
And a longtime friend of your husband.
One thing has nothing to do with the other. Alan didn't appoint him.
True, but when your husband needed surgery on his own hand, he chose Dr. Dorman, didn't he? He's no fool.
I've got to go check in with my office.
Dr. Jones recommended Pierce.
Because Dr. Jones wasn't capable of doing the procedure himself, was he? Isn't that right, Dr. Courtroom? Well, isn't it? So here we have a young surgeon who ought to be going places, whose work is nationally recognized, but his department head gets all the credit. Now, I may only be a layman, but this sounds frustrating to me.
Well, that's the way it's done, and yes, it can be.
However, he has hope. His chief of staff, who has the power to see him promoted, even to build a new laser surgery program around him, he chose him for his ability. Now, that's got to be the ultimate vote in confidence. So you look at it from Dr. Dorman's point of view, and you wonder, what is standing between him and the advancement that he so richly deserves?
Nothing. Time.
How about you and your wifely influence?
Well, are you suggesting that I told Pierce that I could sway
Whether
my
you
husband for?
Said it or not, you could. You were an offer Dr. Dorman couldn't refuse.
Objection. Your Honor, aren't we getting a little far afield here for a cross? Dr. Dorman never alleged the promises of advancement were made.
It seems to me we're getting to the heart of the matter. Proceed.
Let's come at this another way. Dr. Courtroom, as a woman in a traditionally all-male field, you've been very successful. Have you ever experienced sexual harassment on your way up?
I doubt that there are many working women that haven't.
Well, thank you from that bulletin from the soapbox, but is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
When?
When I was an intern.
From whom?
The medical education director. There was a residency open, and I wanted it very much, and I was the most qualified candidate.
And he told you you couldn't have the residency unless you had sex with him.
He was not that blatant about it.
But that's what you understood to be the case, whether he said it or not.
Yes.
Did you have sex with him?
No.
Did you get your residency?
No, I did not.
But the reality that one led to the other, that was all unstated.
Yes.
Then similarly, wouldn't it be reasonable for Dr. Dorman or any other young man at General Hospital to assume that the wife of the chief of staff could have influence over their career, whether she said anything about it or not? Dr. Courtroom.
Maybe.
Then why would he risk forcing his attentions on you?
I don't understand.
Sure you do. You've testified that Dr. Dorman was the aggressor in your relationship. He says that you were. One of you is lying. Now, it doesn't seem very likely that he would risk alienating the Chief of Staff's wife with unwanted advances, does it?
He knew I was receptive. I never said I wasn't.
Well, if that's what you communicated, with or without words, if the message you sent out was, come and get it, doesn't that make you the initiator? And wouldn't Dr. Dorman only be alienating you if he didn't get the message?
Letter from Robin? It's none of my business. I know. I'm sure you get letters from lots of people.
No, just Robin. Some guy in Florida who wants to give me a free cruise if I call him fast enough.
Yeah, he writes me all the time, too.
You're kidding. He never mentions you.
So, how is she?
She doesn't say.
You know, maybe it's none of my business, but I heard Mike asking Sunny how she's doing on her new HIV drugs.
That's probably why she doesn't say. She might not feel so good the first week.
Well, if you think that, maybe you should give her a call.
Why? I don't want to make her complain or tell me everything's fine when it isn't.
Why does bad advice seem like good manners?
So, Mom was getting chafleros all day, and they were taking aim at Dad when I left. The guy's just sitting there. He's just sitting there like a carcass at the meatpacking plant, you know? I mean, I know it's, you know, they're not your parents or anything, and I'm not your brother, blah, blah, blah. It's a little news flash from your DNA, too. I'm gonna be right over here, and I would love a club soda.
All right, come in.
All right.
It doesn't have to be so ugly about it.
Yeah, neither does a trial.
Have you been following it?
I don't get how it's allowed. I mean, people pay taxes to make a guy sit and hear over and over that his wife had sex with somebody else. And you pay a judge to guess who started. Who did that seem like a good idea to?
I don't know.
Why would Alan even want to go?
For Monica, I guess.
Why would she want him there?
Because he believes in her.
That makes sense. He's good to Robin. And he was even decent to me when I went to his house to ask him some stuff. You know, it was the first day of the trial, and he missed most of it. I thought he wanted to, but I guess he was just being nice to me.
I hope that he has someone there that really believes in him. If you wanted to go, I would go with you.
There you go. Oh, yum. Hey, listen, you know, why don't you fill this up for me with something warm? I don't want to freeze at the hockey game.
That's against the rules.
Oh, no, Mario, I don't think you're looking closely enough. It's...
Well, it's not a thermos, Councilman.
I know.
Anything hot to get cold. How about a bourbon?
See, now that's good thinking. That's what I was thinking. Why don't you make it a vodka? Huh?
Just in a minute.
Sounds good.
You've said that your husband didn't like Dr. Dorman. Why?
Well, because he's arrogant, he's self-centered. Well, you should ask Alan.
Did you ever defend Dr. Dorman to your husband?
Yes, I regret to say.
So if there had been some implicit agreement for you to help Dr. Dorman's career, you were certainly holding up your end of the bargain, weren't you?
Oh, hardly. My defending him only made Alan like him less.
Now, why is that? He didn't know that you were lovers, did he?
No, but whatever connection he thought there was, he resented.
Or so you guessed.
No, Alan made no bones about it. So if career help from me is what Pierce was looking for, he could see he wasn't going to get it.
Oh, he did see, Dr. Quartermain. That's why he ended the affair,
No,
isn't it?
I did.
Well, so you say, but again, one of you has to be lying.
That's right, he is.
Well, now let's think about this. Dr. Dorman's career aspirations depended on winning the Chief of Staff's favor. And you've just admitted that sleeping with you was having the opposite effect. So if he was ambitious and as career-oriented as you say he was, wouldn't it make perfect sense that he would be the one to bail out on you?
It may make perfect sense, but that's not what happened.
Whereas in your version of events, you ended the affair with Dr. Dorman because...
Because I love my husband.
Because you love your husband. Then why were you having an affair with Dr. Dorman at all? you can understand our predicament. Imagine sitting out here in this courtroom. Dr. Quartermain, who would you believe?